Today I'll be taking you guys shopping at Amazon, where I just rediscovered a brand I haven't seen since the 1990s. Today we'll be discussing MTX Audio. The Amazon bestseller list have the MTX Terminator loaded enclosure listed as the most reviewed loaded enclosure on its site. The MTX dual 12-inch sealed enclosure has over 5,000 customer reviews. And out of the 5,000 customer reviews, 75% of them are 5-star reviews. This is almost unheard of for a product of this caliber. MTX Audio is an American consumer audio company and is headquartered in Phoenix, Arizona. It manufactures sound equipment for applications including car audio, home audio, and marine audio. It was founded in 1979 by Lloyd Ivy after he acquired the company previously called Matrix. At the time, he owned a company called American Acoustic Labs, and he bought Matrix and renamed it to MTX in '79. And one hell of a fun fact is that MTX in 1984 actually created the first mobile audio enclosure. That's a whole lot to say for a guy who started out in his garage making speakers in the 1960s. This MTX Terminator enclosure comes adorned in retail packaging, though it does lack a lot of information like most retail. But what I do see is this 800 watt max right here. The listing stated 1200 watts. I guess we'll have to figure that out during testing. As you guys can see, it has a width of 32 inches, it has a depth of 16 inches, and it has a height of 16 inches. So this is a true rectangle. In case you guys wanted to fit this in your car, go pick one up or whatever, now you know the size of it. Like I said earlier, this is an American company, meaning that this is American-made subwoofer enclosure, and it comes packaged pretty well. These cardboard supports that you see here on the corners are made of some very rigid cardboard, and they do have styrofoam there on the top that help and assist in many ways. I wish more companies would do this. I can't tell you how many times I've had an off-the-shelf product such as this, and they simply wrap it in a box and ship it to you. As you guys can see, this is a very sturdy styrofoam that they're using here in the corners. And like I said, this cardboard is not your average cardboard. It looked like milk, like the milk crate material, but it's not. This stuff is stiff as stone almost. So they did a pretty good job with that. The box itself actually has a covering of plastic, which is always good to see because that protects it from the element during shipping. So anytime that you can see a company that's doing things the right way, it's always good just to point those things out and pass the information along to anyone who's ever had one of those weird mishaps with shipping. Right here you see me trying to get this thing out of the box, and I'm just gonna be honest with you, this thing is very lightweight. It's not very heavy at all, but man, does it look good. MTX chose to go with a red and white lettering against a black carpet, which really provides great contrast in making this enclosure stands out. Just for a few measurements right quick, I want you guys to know that it has a height of around 14 inches. It has a width of around 30 inches. And keep in mind that this is a wedge, okay? So you got two different depths for it. It has 11 inches up top, and the base of it is gonna have a slightly longer depth than that, which is around 13.5 inches. So keep that in mind when you're trying to install this, okay? The white Terminator logo is stitched into the black carpet and does provide a great contrast for the look and feel of this. MTX have opted to use concave dust caps for the driver, and I must say these things look amazing, especially with the raised MTX lettering directly on the cone. And you do have what seems to be 10 gauge push terminals on the rear, which should be adequate enough for this. But let's take a look at the driver itself. What is making this thing so popular? Once again, in the listing, they said that this driver had a 48-ounce magnet to support these 200-watt RMS subwoofers. One thing you would notice on the rear is that it does have a very large pole vent there with a nice little bump on the back plate. That lets you know it gives a little bit of extra excursion for the subwoofer when you see that. They did go with what is looking like a linear roll spider, golden spider for this, and the former on the voice cord actually looks like a paper former. Don't know why they would go with that option, but people have in the past. The thing that impressed me the most when I looked inside of the cabin was the fact that they add a window brace in there. This is always great to see. Any type of bracing is great to see, but at this price point, I did not expect a window brace. I really was thinking that they would put like a few pieces of spare wood in the corners or maybe along the base and call it a day, but no, they went ahead and actually constructed a window brace and put it in here. With this being a sealed enclosure, I also expected some type of polyfill or something inside of it, but there was nothing. And later on, when I played this enclosure, I actually did notice that it didn't have anything in it. But right now what you guys are seeing is my EC5 connector that I use as a quick connect disconnect for all my test rigs. This one here is the one that I have constructed for any enclosure that I get in that have push terminals. I put the banana plugs on the end and simply just stick them in there. And this seam works just fine. It doesn't wiggle out at all. The push terminals are spring loaded to a point where they can hold it just fine. I never had any connection issues. And this is the connection that I also have in the trunk. This is the male connector that mates up with that female connector on the back of the enclosure. So just a pro tip for you guys, if you're in and out of your car a lot or you swap out a lot of boxes, do a lot of testing like I do, this will be a great way to save some time. Okay, so here we go with the base sweep. Once again, the base sweep is going to be from 150 hertz down to 20 hertz. Let's get it. That's 20 hertz. 20 hertz. Let's give us a stop. All right, so that was 154 watts at 2.4 ohms of impedance. And that's a 126.7 on the decibel scale. But remember, that's not what we want. The information that we want is going to be here in the modes. We want to know at what frequency it attained that, and that was 50 hertz. All right, forward facing into the cabin, this box is asking for 50 hertz. So that's what we're going to do. Our next test is going to be a sine wave at 50 hertz. All right, so we got our application set to 50 hertz. And that's the test tone that we're going to be sending through it. It's 50 hertz. Once again, I want to apologize for the glare. It's a very sunny day today. Very sunny and very cold. Now, these are a 400 watt pair. So we're going to be keeping our eyes on the power to make sure that we don't damage these subs, but we are going to push them until they reach their mechanical limit. 50 hertz. That was 50 hertz, 3,828 watts at 2.9 ohms of impedance. They took the power without bottoming out. That was a 136.7. A 136.7 forward facing into the cabin at 50 hertz. Just for a sanity check, I'm gonna run that again. Let's reset this. 136.7, not bad for a 800 watt max pair. That's not too bad. Let's get this reset, and we're gonna run it again at 50 hertz. So let's see about that. 50 hertz. All right, one more time, guys. Oh, the impedance is different. The impedance was 2, now it's 7. I hope I didn't damage anything. That'll be a bummer to damage them on their first run. That was way too much power though. Let's try it. All right, so let's give it a stop. Even more power. 4,174 watts at 2.7 ohms of impedance. They're not warm, not to the touch anyway. I don't smell anything, that's always a good one. We got a 136.9. 136.9 from this sealed 800 watt max pair. I would say that's not too bad, guys. I want to turn it around and see if we can get any better numbers out of it. All right, as you guys can see, they're now forward facing into the trunk, meaning that they're gonna now load off the trunk's lid, and hopefully we'll gain a couple dBs by doing so. Most of the time this works, especially with ported enclosures, but I don't know about a sealed enclosure, but I'm guessing that the physics are the same, so we're gonna see if we can gain a little bit by letting them load off the trunk. Here we go. Okay, so now that the box is forward facing into the trunk, we're gonna do another base sweep and see if it wants anything different from 50 hertz. Once again, base sweeps are gonna be from 120 all the way down to, from 150 all the way down to 20 hertz. And here we go. And that's 20 hertz. I must say the low end sounds a lot better. I actually like it. So let's see what that was. So we got 125.6, 125.6 in the kick. We're gonna see what frequency that was at. 60 hertz. Oh my God, that is loud. That is way up there, man. 60 hertz is what it's calling for. Okay. Let's look at how much power that was. 60 hertz. Damn. It has, that was only 51 watts at 2.3 ohms of impedance. All right, well, we're going to give it 60 hertz. All right, so 60 hertz what it wants, 60 hertz is what it get. So I hope I don't smoke the coils with this. 60 hertz. Wow, we heard it then. They didn't like that. Wow, I hate that, man. 2.8 ohms of impedance, 4,212 watts. That was way too much at 160, but whatever, man. I do it for y'all. That was way too much power at 60 hertz, but I just needed to see myself. All right, let's see what that was. 137.4. I don't really think it likes 60 hertz. It can't really. Yeah, I hope I didn't damage him. Oh my God. Okay, let's go back down to 50 and see if what they sound like at around 50. Since that's what they like. Let's turn it up a little bit. Yeah. I think 50 is where they at. I'm gonna run a test at 50. Ooh, I'm glad I didn't kill him. All right, so we have everything reset. Let's go back here and reset our SMD meter. This is the AMM1. I love this thing. It is very, very useful. Now, we're gonna try to get that 50 hertz going again. All right, 50 hertz into the trunk. Let's see what we get. Wow, that knocked my camera down. Damn. Let's stop it. Guys, look at that. You see it for yourself. 140.8. 140.8. You see this? 140.8. This is not fake, guys. This is not fake. I know some people wish it was. It's not. I know some people, let's open this up. I know some people wish it was. It's not fake. You guys don't have to spend a lot of money to get loud, man. Stop it. This ain't even a ported enclosure. It's not. These things are not even warm. And they burped a 140. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't give y'all the power reading. I'm sorry. Let's go back. It burped at 140. Now I understand what some people are gonna say. Oh, you're throwing a buttload of power at it. I am. Look at that. 4,404 watts at 2.7 ohms of impedance. I don't break in my subs. I don't believe in that. This box ain't even treated. It's not even a treated enclosure. It's the cheapest you can get. And this is why so many people are buying this thing off Amazon. Look at this. A 140.8. I don't even know how I'm gonna do the thumbnail to this, because the last video I did of a cheap product did the same, almost the same numbers. Is crazy. This box is under 200 bucks, loaded with 2 subwoofers in it. And you're getting, it's just crazy, it's mind-boggling. So stop listening to those guys, man, who making y'all think y'all gotta go out and get these expensive, crazy-ass subwoofers and purchase these expensive, crazy-ass enclosures to get louder. 140 is loud, okay? I know on a serious scale, it's like entry-level, entry-level score, but for some kid fresh out of high school and he just wanna, play around and impress his friends or whatever, this is amazing. For some high school girl that's into the art, this is amazing, right? For a father who doesn't have a whole lot of money to spend on this stuff, but he wanna get his kid into this is amazing. Of course, a father wouldn't want you doing 140 in the neighborhood, but you can, get on the highway and have some fun. All right, now time for some music. Let's see what it sounds like on a music scale. This is the track right here, Epidemic Sounds. Go check them out. That's some violent bass coming out these things, man. These things are bumping. All right, let's give it an RMS rating and see what it sounds like. Thanks for visiting the channel to help you simplify car audio. It's the Budget Basshead, and I'm out.